Well, listen, man. Tyler Shough. Everyone's like, man, high on this guy.
Yeah. He had a great 9-game showing.
Is he the franchise quarterback?
If that's the direction that we go, I assume so for everything that he did in his 9 games. I'm hoping so. I think, with him, there could be a bright future. And hopefully we can continue to build upon that process that we showed last year.
Apparently, people are saying, I guess Drew Brees has been mentoring him. He's calling him like his amazing mentor. Is that, that's your guy? Like, if a guy like that is giving you game?
I mean, what do they say? Believe half of what you hear, none of what you see. I'm only here to work hard and put forth the best foot, and I think Tyler does the same. I've seen him many times this offseason already in the facilities working. He just had a baby. Shout out to Tyler and his new son. We're just going to continue working.
You think the Saints could be back on track to deep playoff runs, maybe championships?
I hope so. Isn't that the goal? Ain't nobody gone in the whole offseason doing this. It's like, man, I hope we just win 3 games. I'll leave that to the Jets.
Well, listen, man. Any message to the people? Listen, sometimes when people start dubbing a guy the future, it's a lot of undue pressure.
Hey,
Do you think that people should chill on Tyler right now?
No. Raise my guy up at every turn, but also realize it's the NFL. Today's success is going to be heralded as greatness, and tomorrow's failure is going to be heralded as he's never had it. So all we got to do is continue grinding, continue proving to everybody who you think you are.
What about you, dog? You're 36 right now? 37?
Same line. Yeah. Everybody wants to say you're old.
No, I'm older than you. I want to know what it feels like to be like elite still,
I mean, if you got a 10-sack season, if I was 26, I'd be asking for top dollar. And things I've never asked for is top dollar. All I've asked for is to be valued.
That's right. So you feel like you got plenty more in the tank.
I look at guys like Calais Campbell who still won
he's
play every year.
He's my age.
Yeah, I've seen my guy Demario Davis was a little bit older than me. Still put in his best season yet. I think there's always room for growth.
Hey, bro, we always got appreciation for you, dog, and continued success.
Shout out to Cam, man, and appreciate y'all for being in the live. Much love to the Coma. I appreciate y'all for joining this episode of the Sports Coma. Big ups to you guys for being here, and shout out to the fam, man. Round of applause for you guys. Indeed. Shout out to the fam. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on social media feed. Big Q in here representing the Coma, man. Shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. Hit up FanDuel for all your bets, man. Listen, Cam Jordan, that's an article from TMZ. That's where it was sourced, where Cam talked about Tyler Shough. He mentioned, and talked about the comparisons to Shough is talk about Drew Brees mentoring Tyler Shough. If you take a look at this article right here, they'll show you that Brees gives ringing endorsement of Tyler Shough. He giving his praise. Now, Drew frequents and is around the New Orleans area. He's always not constantly in and out of the building for the New Orleans Saints, but what people realize is that Drew Brees has definitely an affinity and a connection to the city, and that Drew wants to see more success for the Saints moving forward. This year, he'll be fully inducted. The ceremony in Canton, Ohio, into the Football Hall of Fame. This is a big year for the Saints. And I'm saying insofar as the Saints, even though it's Drew stepping in there, he's listed by Willie Roaf as the greatest New Orleans Saint player that ever was. I don't think too many people will argue that point, that Drew is the greatest New Orleans Saint player at the most valuable quarterback position. He had excelled in greatness and set a floor that will live beyond him, and he helped elevate an entire franchise and an entire family and support base up to another level in the city and for the Who Dats across the nation. But with that being said, what I want to kind of delve into outside of this, the fact that Cam Jordan made some statements during that interview where he talked about just Tyler Shuck and seeing where the Saints want to go. Of course, we know that he wants to return back to the Saints for one more again. You know, he led the team in sacks this year. In my opinion, Cam is also a first ballot Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. And he wants to return back to the team to try to get that very elusive Super Bowl title. Now, a lot of people are excited. Like I mentioned, the Drew Brees, him being put into the Hall of Fame, and him elevating, the ceremony will be this year, and the Saints could really ride that wave of Hall of Fame energy throughout the season into something into the postseason. Now, we know the NFC South is wide open. We realize the Saints have solved one of the biggest question marks in terms of the team, which is the quarterback. They have galvanized and found an identity, and now simply the Saints need to be about the business of building around that said talent. Cam makes a strong statement saying that he wants to return to the Saints if they're willing to value him. So this is something we talked about. They got multiple veterans entering to free agency. It's going to be a very interesting season for the Saints offseason wise, because of the fact that we projected to be $8 and $9 million in the red. Once everything settles and clears, the Saints will be able to restructure some things, be able to then elevate themselves in a way cap wise that we haven't seen in a while. And then next year to be even greater. With all this, they have an opportunity, and a door of positive energy is open for the Saints, and they simply have to capitalize on it by doing things in the correct manner. Perhaps that involves Demario Davis and Cam Jordan as potential re-signees, right? That Cam wants to come back, but he wants to feel value. To me, that says, hey, 10.5 sacks at 25, I've been asking for top dollar. And he's saying he's not asking for top dollar, but he damn sure ain't asking for a value deal either. Demario Davis has let it be known that he wants to return. He's willing to leverage other teams to get as much money as he could to get that final payday from the New Orleans Saints. So the Saints can't sit up here and say this year, hey fam, listen, we pressed up against the cap. We need some help right here. So I'm going to need some guys to kind of rework some deals. They can't say that this year. People realize, just like me and you, the Saints, this is the first time the Saints have been in a positive situation with the cap in a very long time, right? We don't have to restructure $100 million worth of contracts to have a $20 million or whatever it needs to be able to function as a team. That this is not the case this year, and it's one of the main reasons why, outside of the production that we've seen from Cam and Demario and others, why they feel like they're not going to give you the home run deal. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to give you that veteran deal. They want to be compensated accordingly. Maybe not top of the line, but they have a value in the head. The Saints can be considered the top landing spot for both these defenders. Of course, they want to come back, but they don't want to come back for cheap. Cam Jordan makes strong free agent statement ahead of free agency. Jordan made a strong statement following his big year. If you get a 10-sack season, if I was 26, I'd be asking for top dollars. Things I never asked for is top dollar. All I ever asked for is to be valued. That's what Cam told TMZ. Y'all just heard it, which is a good point. 10.5 sacks this past season, his best year since 21. Veteran leader on the defense, help keep his energy and effort, help keep the Saints defense in a lot of these things. He continued to discuss in the same interview using the pronoun we, which could hint that he sees himself resigning in New Orleans. This too small of a detail to dive too deep into, but should be worth noting. Either way, Saints will pay him what his worth. Some outlets are projecting that Cam Jordan signed for around $3 to $4 million this offseason, but the projections seem to be to overlook how productive he was last season. The veteran should be able to land at least double those. Indeed, the writer did a job sourcing the article or the interview from TMZ, and basically what it's telling you is that, hey man, listen, $3 or $4 million for Cam Jordan, that's not gonna cut it, right? We know, and I've said this before, if you're looking at Cam Jordan, you're gonna look at a contract just like Demario Davis. You're gonna look for something anywhere between $7.5 to $10 million for that final season, and then of course you can put in incentives, right? That chunk up the contract. You know, he get a certain amount of sacks. Get a certain amount of tackles, play a certain amount of games, play a certain amount of reps. This sort of thing helps add more money to the deal, like incentive-laced agreement. But the AAV, the average on the annual deal for the Saints in the final year for Cam, they're looking at, before the finagling happens, I know they still got a bunch of voided years from the previous deal, but the Saints will have to have a little something going on to kind of rework and get this thing together. So we're looking at $7.5 to $10 million, and I'm saying that for between Cam and Demario Davis. That's what it's projected to be. Now, that could change once they hit free agency, because you never know. Another team might want to bring Cam in that feel like they want him to help them. The same with Demario Davis. We know that Dennis Allen had a very good year defensively for the Bears and could use a Demario Davis and Cam in a year where the Bears feel like they're ready to make the jump. We covered that on the previous broadcast. So how does it look to you? 3 to 4 million is way too low for Cam Jordan. I'm thinking anywhere between 7.5 to 10. It could be more based on the market value for these guys, right? Could be more. It really could. And plus, it's a respect thing, as Cam Jordan is looking at. Demario Davis is looking at respect. One of the greatest ways to show respect, not only in sports, but period, is in your financial dealings. If you respect the person, then you'll pay above fair wage, right? To let them know we appreciate who you are and your commitment to what we're doing to this thing. And then, of course, when they retire, Cam Jordan and Demario Davis retire Saints. So you have to, that's also a delicate thing to deal with players, because a lot of teams don't have that. They don't have long-term players that start and finish with the team. Now, Cam was drafted by the Saints. He ultimately wants to finish his career with the Saints. He's a one-team player. A one-player team. One-player team. He's a guy that's been on one team for his entire year. You don't usually see stuff like that happen. So in the end, it is what it is. What do you guys think about the Cam Jordan statement? What do you guys think would be a suitable contract for Cam Jordan? Be realistic now. Don't come in here and $3-4 million. The man ain't gonna sign for that. That's disrespectful. In his final year, he's a contributor. Now, some guy riding the bench. You're talking about a man that led the team in sacks, a guy that's still a captain or a team leader, a guy that's still very big on this team and presence and everything, right? Commitment, locker room, talent. Cam, he's still very big. That comes at a cost. Demario Davis knows it. Cam Jordan knows it. That's their final year before they retire. This is a very unique situation when you get that 1 year and you ball out, and then you have an opportunity to cash out. Balling out usually means you're going to cash out. That's why they call it ball out. You ball out for the cash out. So we'll see. But what are you guys' comments on that? Let me know in the chat what you think Cam Jordan's contract with the Saints should pay Cam Jordan reasonably for the final year of his career with the New Orleans Saints team. Y'all put it in the comment section. Let me know. Also, shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. Y'all hit up the FanDuel for all your bets. Shout out to the Patreon champions of the YouTube membership family. We'll be doing another mock tonight, breaking down some stuff. We'll get into some breakdowns, some players, and we'll cover the waterfront there. With that being said, hit the like button and the sub button, subscribe and share, like, and notification bell, hit them up. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Much love. Peace.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.